Hello, in today's video, I would like to share with you 6 best practices that you can implement when you're working on Brainboard to design and manage all your cloud infrastructures. And for today's session, we're going to work on the Azure multi-subscription landing zone that you can see here. So let's get started. One of the best practices that you can implement is to have the design that is a faithful representation of the Terraform code. For example, here, if you look at specific resources, for example, the public IP, you can see it in the design, but you can also see it in the Terraform code. Here, if you want to look at how we configure this resource, you can open the ID account and you will have the required parameters, the advanced configuration, and the meta arguments of Terraform with the count, the depends on, and the for each. And of course, you can do the same thing, for example, for another resource. Here, you see how we configure it, and then you open the ID account, and then you can do all the modification that you want. So this is the first best practice that you can implement, is to have the design that is a faithful representation of your Terraform code. The second one will be to use the README to have all the documentation in one place. So here, for example, you can see the description, the architecture components, the requirements, how to use the architecture, and who are the maintainers. Then, as Brainboard is a collaborative solution, you can simply go to members, and then you can invite all your team members to join your organization. So here, for example, you simply need to specify their email address, their roles from owner to guest. Once you have invited them, for example, here you have, of course, the first name, last name, then you see if they have accepted the invitation or not, and their roles. Once you have done it, you can create different teams. And here, to create your team, you simply need to specify or to choose a name, choose who will be the admin of the team and who will be the members. Then you can create different projects. For example, on Brainboard, we have created a project Brainboard Trainings, multi-cloud strategies. So here you see the name, the teams, and the environment for each project. So here it's very easy. Simply need to choose the name, then choose who will be the teams, for example, for the admin, for the designers, operators, and guests, and then you can choose the environment that you would like to create. Then, once you have done it, here you simply need to include your credentials. So here you have the name, the subscription ID, client ID, tenant ID, and client secret. Once you have done it, then you can do Terraform commands with, for example, the Terraform plan and even provision your infrastructure directly from Brainboard. You can also use GitHub, and you can use Azure DevOps, Bitbucket, or GitLab. It's very useful, especially if you want to do pull requests directly from Brainboard. Then now you can go back to the design, and here you will see how you can actually structure the way you will work with your team. So you have different projects from Brainboard trainings to use cases. In each project, you have different environment from dev to staging. And in each environment, you have different architectures. And today we're working on the landing zone. So now we can go back to the design. And then if you want to do any modification on this design, then you simply need to choose one of the resources here, and then you simply need to drag and drop it here in the design. Now, if you want to create different variables, I'm going to show you how you can do it. So here you go to input, and here you can create variables either at the organization level, project, environment, but also at the architecture level. For example, we have created 14 variables at the architecture level. So here, if we look at that, for example, for the public cert, you have the name, the architecture, the type, here is a string, and then default. For the output, you also have them here, so you can create your own output if you want. Then here, you see, you have the main.tf, the output that I showed you, you have the providers.tf, So here, if you want to customize it, you simply need to go here, then write your own custom Terraform provider block. Here you can write it. Then you have the terraform.tvars, variables. These are all the variables that I've showed you. Then you have the locals that you can create, and you also have your remote backend. For your remote backend, it's very easy. You simply need to go to data, and then you can either set up your remote backends for AWS, for Azure, or for Brainboard backend here that you can use as well. Now that we have done it, we are going to the deployment tab here, and then we are going to create and design a new workflow. Here, for example, we have, let's say, Terraform commands, infra cost, and then tf sec workflow. So here you give the name that you want. Then here you choose your task. So here, for example, we said that we are going to do a Terraform command. So here we do Terraform validate, Terraform validate. Then now we can do a Terraform plan. So we give it a name. Then we said we were going to do infra cost. So here cost estimation. Here API key. And now, for example, we would like to send an email. So for example, notify FinOps. Email address, for example, will be, for example, marcela.brainboard.co. Here, please check the budget of this infrastructure. So here she will receive an email. Then now we can do tfsec for security check. And then here we can add another email, this time notify security team. And here, for example, we have, let's say, .co. And here you can write your email. So here, please check the security requirement of this infrastructure. And as I've showed you before, you can also do a Terraform, we will not do it, but you can do a Terraform apply here to provision your infrastructure directly from Brainboard. So now that we have designed this workflow, we simply need to save it, and then we run the pipeline. So here we have the pipeline. As you can see, everything is pending. So the first task that Brainboard will do will be a Terraform validate. So here we will have the output of each task. As you can see, the configuration is valid. Then now Terraform plan. So here, for example, you can see the Terraform has created a log file to record the provider selection. So here we will have the output. And here, as you can see, plan 35 to add, 0 to change, 0 to destroy. Then now we are doing infra costs. And here, as you can see, we have the overall total cost, this one. And here you can look at it as well. You have the resources, then you have the monthly cost. So you can optimize this infrastructure depending on your cost as well. So here, the name, the monthly quantity unit, and the monthly cost. Here, the email has been sent. Security requirements is valid, no problem detected. And then here, notify security team. So now here, we can go to see the statue, the ID, the pipeline initiator. Then here, we can delete this task and save the workflow. Now we can convert it into reusable templates with the name. You can add the description. And then here we have the templates that you can build as well. So now that we checked everything here, we can also create a pull request, for example, by using either GitHub, Azure DevOps, Bitbucket, or GitLab. For example, here we'll use GitLab. Then here, Brainboard demo. Here it's landing zone. Create. Here, Brainboard will give us the link to the PR. And we have the individual contributor, all the files, Terraform files that have been created from Brainboard. Then now you can actually merge or directly deploy your infrastructure from Brainboard. So here we close it. And then if we want to use, for example, modules, then you can import your module from either registry, Git, or from files. Once you have imported them, here you can build your own module catalog. For example, here we can use VNet. Here, as you can see, we have pinned the latest version. So it means that every time we will do modification on this specific module, Brainboard will understand and will keep the module up to date. Here, if you want to use it, simply need to pin it. And here, you can use it the way you want. And then here, for example, let's say we delete this one. You can find also the templates, all the templates. For example, here it was the multi-subscription. So here you can find the multi-subscription and actually use it for your own purpose. So I hope this video has been useful for you. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to help you build your own use case on Brainboard. Have a great day.